The Strait of Hormuz blunder, how Iran missing mine maps are accidentally keeping the strait closed. That's the mess in the Strait of Hormuz right now. Back in early 2026, Iran's Revolutionary Guard rushed to turn this narrow waterway into a massive minefield. According to the New York Times, it wasn't a strategic masterstroke, it was pure panic. Under pressure, IRGC teams were just throwing explosives overboard. They were so focused on blocking Western warships that they didn't bother to record GPS coordinates or lay them in any kind of traceable pattern. They didn't just lock the door, they welded it shut and tossed the blueprints. Then nature made it worse. The currents in the strait are brutal. If these mines snap, they could slam into a passing tanker and trigger a total catastrophe. Drifting explosives turning the world's most important shipping lane into a game of Russian roulette. You could sweep a path today, and a mine could float right back into it tomorrow. The result: about 20% of the world's oil is now trapped behind a wall that Iran built but can't take down. This is Strait of Hormuz. It's a massive global choke point, handling roughly 20% of the world's daily oil supply. But the IRGC has a new strategy: paid a $2 million toll in crypto. But how do you actually pull that off, especially when your Navy has just lost more than 50 of its prized warships? The answer is simple. You go old school. You bring back World War II-style tactics. Enter the Mosquito fleet. Instead of relying on massive, easy-to-target destroyers, the IRGC Navy uses a swarm of fast inshore attack craft. We're talking about incredibly quick, small fiberglass boats, classes like the Ashura, the Turek, and heavily modified Bog Hammer speedboats. But how do these speedboats attack U.S. warship? The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy operates hundreds of small, fast attack craft armed with heavy machine guns, rockets, and anti-ship missiles. The tactic here is simple, but deadly. Instead of trying to fight a U.S. destroyer one-on-one, which they would lose, they deploy dozens of small boats simultaneously from every direction. The goal is to overwhelm the U.S. ship's defensive systems, like the phalanx, by presenting more targets than the ship can track and destroy at once. And they don't stop at military hardware. They actively deploy dual-use craft. To the untrained eye, these look like everyday fishing dhows or commercial trawlers, but underneath, they're secretly outfitted for covered military ops. So how exactly do these tiny boats deploy heavy naval mines? Since they are dedicated, large-scale mine layers, you won't find any high-tech, automated track systems here. Their methods are incredibly low-tech, but in a tight bottleneck like the Strait of Hormuz, they are lethally effective. It usually comes down to the stern drop method. The mines are simply strapped to the back deck of a small boat. Once they get their target coordinates, the crew literally just rolls or pushes these massive explosives right off the stern and into the water. Some of the slightly larger boats might have basic metal rails to help slide them off, but really that's about it. This bare-bones setup is absolutely perfect for hit-and-run tactics. The whole strategy relies on speed and stealth. A small speedboat can dart right into the busy shipping lanes, hide under the cover of darkness, or just blend in with regular civilian traffic. They drop 2 or 3 mines in a matter of seconds and then floor it back to the safety of the Iranian coastline, long before heavy U.S. warships can even get a lock on them. And the weapons themselves. These little boats are tapping into an estimated Iranian stockpile of anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 devices. They drop everything from simple contact mines, which float near the surface and explode on impact, to advanced bottom mines. Those sink to the shallow sea floor and just wait, patiently listening to detonate the second they detect the acoustic signature of a passing supertanker. How the U.S. is using the preemptive capability destructions to strike the 16 mine-laying ships. This is strategy 1. Instead of waiting for the mines to hit the water, which would force dangerous mine clearance operations right under enemy fire, the U.S. took action first. They struck the vessels before they could even deploy. It's a textbook preemptive denial strategy: destroy the enemy's means of attack before they ever get the chance to use it. Here comes strategy number 2, intelligence coup precision targeting. This strike wasn't a guess. It was the direct result of highly actionable intelligence on Iran's operational plans. The U.S. layered signals intelligence from RC-135, maritime surveillance from P-8 Poseidons, and human intelligence. This allowed them to pinpoint exactly which vessels were the mine layers, where they were parked, and exactly when they were most vulnerable. That brings us to strategy number 3, striking vessels while moored. Most of these targets were actually docked at the time of the attack. Hitting a stationary ship is infinitely easier, safer, and more precise than hunting down a moving target out on the open ocean. Plus, it completely eliminates the risk of a missed shot causing an unintended international incident in a heavily trafficked strait. Strategy number 4 is the dual target doctrine. By hitting both the mine-laying vessels and the mine storage facilities at the exact same time, the operation guaranteed that even if replacement boats were available, there wouldn't be any ordnance left to arm them. It's a layered approach designed to maximize the strategic impact of a single coordinated operation. The US didn't just use one weapon, they threw the entire playbook at the Mosquito fleet. They used Hellfire missiles fired from drones against small boats, and launched long-range cruise missiles from Navy destroyers right off the coast. And to finish the job, heavy strategic command bombers dropped massive 2,000-pound, GPS-guided bunker busters to completely wipe out the boats while they were still sitting in their storage facilities. This is a U.S. Central Command comeback footage where a Hellfire missile engaging enemy mine-laying vessels. Pausing on this still image confirms its identity as a Hellfire, a munition frequently deployed from this MQ-9 Reaper drone. This vessel is one of 16 destroyed by this type of munition. It underscores a crucial point. Understanding how these small missiles operate is key to understanding how they turn the tide of a conflict and destroy a small navy with a small drone. Let's take a look inside and see exactly how they fire these missiles. He uses a thumbstick to zoom in on a heat signature, locking onto the target. When he's ready, there's a trigger button just below the joystick. A simple squeeze launches the weapon, guiding it directly to its intended target. These enemy targets firing at the MQ-9 reappear, clearly lit up on the screen, as you can see here. Even for civilians, there are countless bad actors targeting our computers, which is why we need a defense mechanism, just like the MQ-9 multi-targeting radar system. Similarly, this VPN identifies and blocks suspicious email with a harmful download link. In this case, it will alert you immediately. Beyond that, it includes a robust antivirus software to shield your devices from viruses, malware, and tracking by ads, bots, or third parties. Finally, with Surfshark VPN, a single subscription covers not just you, but also your friends or even your entire city if you wanted. Go to our link surfshark.com/AITelly. By buying through the promo link and using the code AITelly, you will get 4 extra months free, assured by a 30-day money-back guarantee. But how did this small missile could successfully track and hit the speedboat? Let's take a look at Hellfire missile tracking and guidance. The AGM-114 Hellfire missile is a precision weapon guided either by semi-active laser or millimeter wave radar. This means it can accurately lock onto and follow targets, even ones moving quickly on water, like a speedboat. The MQ-9 Reaper drone uses advanced onboard sensors and targeting pods to continuously track the boat, sending real-time information to the missile after it has been launched. The drone's sophisticated systems can calculate the boat's speed, direction, and maneuvers, allowing the missile's guidance to predict where the boat will be and adjust its flight path to hit the target. Speed and maneuverability matching. Hellfire missiles travel at speeds greater than Mach 1, over 760 miles per hour, 1,225 kilometers per hour, which far outpaces the speed of the boat. This allows the missile to quickly close the distance and make fine adjustments during its flight to strike a moving target. The missile's guidance system is designed to compensate for evasive maneuvers by tracking the reflected laser or radar signals bouncing off the boat. It continuously adjusts for changes in direction and speed as it hones in on the target. Paired with the MQ-9 Reaper drone's continuous real-time tracking, enable the missile to accurately follow, anticipate, and destroy a fast-moving boat traveling at speeds up to 69 miles per hour. When you add it all up, the US has taken out over 60 warships and submarines in a span of just 10 days. First up is the Jushin. When this Iranian fast attack craft approached a US surface action group, it fired a US-made Harpoon missile, a remnant from pre-revolution armed sails. The U.S. cruiser USS Wainwright successfully evaded it using electronic countermeasures and chaff. The U.S. ships instantly returned fire, sinking the Jushin in what became the world's first ever missile duel between warships. Then came the Sahand. This Iranian frigate sailed out to challenge the U.S. fleet and fired at passing aircraft. The response was immediate. Navy attack jets and the destroyer USS Joseph Strauss swarmed the vessel, pummeling the Sahand with missiles and heavy bombs until it caught fire and ultimately sank after its own munitions detonated. Later that same afternoon, a third ship, the Savalan, tried its luck. The frigate fired a surface-to-air missile at a U.S. jet. The pilot simply dodged the missile, looped right back around, and dropped a 500-pound laser-guided bomb directly down the ship's exhaust stack. The internal explosion completely crippled the vessel. The overarching goal behind all of this was to secure the Strait of Hormuz, the single most critical choke point for global oil. We make original videos from scratch and animated by humans, so please subscribe to not miss a beat.